Right.
Ross's sake.
I'd rather do it at the very end, to be honest with you.
Go to his benefit.
Maybe I'll introduce her.
And it really.
Yeah, I think we should have
All right.
town and grocery stores.
Good evening, everyone. We're beginning tonight's meeting of the Weathersfield Planning and Zoning Commission. And first order of business is roll call and seating of alternates. And I'm going to ask our clerk, Commissioner Homicki, if you would read the roll, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Hammer.
Here.
Mr. Lambruni.
Here.
I am here. Mr. Brecklin.
Here.
Mr. Dean.
Here.
Mr. Drake.
Here.
Mr. Edwards. Is not. Ms. Gianfrido. Is not. Mr. Roberts.
Here.
Mr. Ercolini.
Here.
Ms. Laurie. Is not. Mr. Thompson.
Here.
All right, I think we have 9 here, including alternates Ercolani and Thompson, so everyone will participate this evening. Well, actually, let me do one thing first. Under old business, there are 2 public hearings that were both continued. Neither one of them is going to move forward tonight. So the first one is item 2.1, public hearing 2218-25, Town of Weathersfield Parks and Recreation Department seeking special permit for the construction and associated improvements of pickleball courts at Mill Woods Park, 154 Prospect Street. If there's anybody here in the room or listening on the community television, that matter, we are going to continue to our meeting of December 2nd, and we're not going to hear that matter this evening. Our staff is awaiting some consultant's report, which is in process, correct?
Correct.
So I don't know that we need a motion, but if somebody would like to make a motion to continue item 2.1 to our December 2nd meeting, please so move.
I'll make a motion to continue the hearing.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And again, for those of you in the audience, our meeting will begin at 7 p.m. on December 2nd. Next item, 2.2, public hearing 2220-25, Ready Imaging, seeking a special permit under our sign regulations for a master sign plan and sign exception at 1780 Berlin Turnpike. That matter has also been continued previously, and that one, the applicant is requesting that it be continued, and I suggest we continue it to our next meeting in November, which is November 18th at 7 p.m. Is that correct?
Correct.
Mr. Elder, would somebody like to move on that one to continue
Motion to move to continue,
to November 18th?
November
Is
18th.
there a second? Second by Peter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's continued. Before we begin, I think Dave wanted to make an introduction.
I did, yeah. I wanted to introduce, to our left is our new part-time zoning and code enforcement officer and planning assistant, and she is also offered to take our minutes for the foreseeable future. So this is Cassandra Vasquez Felipe, and just wanted to introduce her to you all. And it was fortunate that we didn't have a full dais today, so she could sit up here with us. So she is going to be helping, and if you need anything and you can't reach me, you can call the town hall and ask for Cassandra.
Great, thank you. Welcome, Sandra. All right, new business is a regular agenda item, application number 2222-25. Ganesham Patel seeking subdivision for creation of another building lot at 1730 Berlin Turnpike is the applicant here. And if you would please come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Because there's no...
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dan D'Amelio, licensed land surveyor representing the Bon Giovanni Group. We prepared this subdivision. So this is an existing motel, the Weathersfield Motel, at the north end of the Berlin Turnpike in Weathersfield. It's one existing lot, and the proposal is to subdivide the front portion So the entire property is shown on the plan in front of me in blue, and then the lot that's being broken out is like an orange color. So it meets all the subdivision regulations. It's in zone RC, I believe. Yes, RC. So it meets the area requirements and the frontage requirements, all the setbacks. There's nothing being proposed at this time except for the division of the property. So there's no design, there's nothing, no building or anything that's being proposed at this point. It's just the division of the property. We did receive some comments from the town planner, and we have addressed all those. We added dimension on the south side of Lot 1. We had a typo. I blame the computer for that. I don't know who was using the computer at that time. For overhang was labeled as overhand, so that's been corrected. There's a note on the first sheet about drainage rights, and we've added that note on the subdivision plan itself to show that there's sheet flow drainage coming from Lot 1, where the motel is, across the property. And that's what that right is for. And it also, there's drainage on one of the driveways that would tie into also, but it's just sheet flow. There's nothing being proposed. We also added the requirements for the proposed information on the zoning data on the first sheet for each of the lots, for Lot 1 and for Lot 2. And it meets all those requirements. And we added the signature block for the commission chairman. So we addressed all those comments. We have not received any other comments at this point.
A
I
couple,
don't believe, I was going to say, I know that nobody else is here. The owner's not here. The applicant's not here for this.
a couple questions. So the larger lot can support the motel with all the asphalt parking area and so forth, and comply with both
That's
the
correct.
building coverage and the
Yeah,
overall.
so there's nothing on the smaller lot 2 except for the existing driveway that cuts across.
Right, I guess all I'm saying is it looks like there's a lot of pavement on the larger lot, but it complies with the
Lot 1, yeah,
75% impervious maximum.
yeah.
Reviewed all that, or you're still?
Well, so that was one of the comments. So just to be clear, if I may, so the correspondence that I handed out, I consolidated, the town engineer sent me comments in an email, and then we were trying to get the information out. So the comments that were addressed were both a combination of myself and the town engineer. And yes, when the applicant originally came in for the pre-application meeting, I did explain that because this is currently one site and it operates under a site plan approval, they need to confirm before they come forward that the current site plan operations are not impacted or in any way changed or modified by the subdivision, in which case they would need to come back and modify the site plan for the motel. So that was a conversation we had months ago before they decided to do that. They did come in and present a zoning parking table to show that they can accommodate the parking. And that is the other reason that they left the access. So an important part of the plan is the site plan does have that through movement. So it has 2 curb cuts onto the Silas Dean. They're going to preserve that, and that was also part of the original site plan approval. So not only will that give both properties, if and when developed, some additional access, but it also preserves the existing traffic circulation of the existing site plan for the motel.
Have they shown an easement, access easement over the
They have.
smaller lot in favor of the rear?
They
lot?
have, and drainage easements as well.
And are they required to do any type of stormwater infrastructure or improvements as part of this process beyond what's there today?
When the when Lot 2 comes forward, if it comes forward with a site plan, we will then see an additional drainage calculation to show how the drainage of Lot 2 is going to comply with stormwater management.
So how does how does, so maintaining the driveway on the smaller lot, Lot 2, essentially divides the lot into two pieces. It runs down the middle of it, correct? So
Correct.
how do they, does that mean that only one side of that is going to be developable?
I'm not sure I don't know, that's yet to be seen. I did, interesting,
Pavement.
just to point out, I think, so most of the subdivisions we see also require that you show that the lots to be developed can accommodate the allowable permitted uses or the proposed uses. Most commonly, it's a residential subdivision where you see the houses, the driveways, maybe a pool or a shed or a deck or something like that. In this case, the subdivision regulations say on 3 lots or less, they do not need to show the development plan. When they come back with a development plan, if that development plan impacts the site operations of Lot 1, then again, both Lot 1 will also be required to have a site plan modification.
What are they, it's hard to read the small scale of the plan, but if you apply all the yard setbacks to the smaller lot, what are they left with in terms of where they could do anything? Seems like a fairly small
Well, if they...
square that's left.
It's on the first page. So
Right.
If you, on the first page of the, if you don't mind, do you have the revised sheet? Do you have sheet 1 with you in large scale that has the zoning lot tables that shows what's required and what's being proposed?
Yeah, in the zoning data for the proposed Lot 2, we just put in that it meets the requirements, because there's nothing proposed, so there's no,
Right.
you know, it has the side yard, the rear yard, the front yard, so there's nothing really that changes other than what's required.
So what would the future plan be as you understand it for Lot 2? And would you just put a single building on one side of the access drive? Are they allowed to do 2 buildings on one lot
If
in
they
that
can
zoning district?
Yeah, if they could accommodate 2 pad sites, they could, or they could entirely reconfigure this lot by itself meets all of the zoning requirements in terms of frontage area and area. And if a future site plan comes before the commission that impacts this driveway, the shown driveway, they would have to modify both site plans. This would have to be modified, and as part of the development of Lot 2, it would also reflect the changes to the access of Lot 1.
As an engineering
Right
department?
now, we just, sorry, Mr. Chairman, right now, we covered all the bases with rights and easements noted. So, as it stands now, the lot stands by itself, and there's easements for access and other things. In the future, if they decide to do something with that property, then they would do a site plan, and, you know, I don't know if that driveway would remain. It depends upon whatever they want to do on that. You know.
Does existing hotel, can they stand alone as is with just the one driveway on the north side?
I have to apologize. I have a hearing problem, so.
Does existing hotel lot, can that stand alone right now with just the one entrance? To me, that's the main question, because we're basically, the middle entrance, to
I
me,
think
just
it
goes
probably-
away, other than the
yeah.
fact that it's there, based with this.
Yeah, but they just don't want to do anything right now.
No, you missed my point. Guy comes up 10 years from now, and he bought that lot,
Yeah.
and he said, this is an approved lot, I could do whatever I want to do, and we said, no, the hotel has to have the 2. So my question is, does the hotel okay with the 1? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Right
I
now.
think,
I
He's
think,
okay with the 1.
well, and we'd have to modify that.
Site plan.
Is the fire marshal okay with the 1?
Right.
yeah.
What? Huh?
The access drive to the north
Right.
is probably wide enough to, you know, to
Shouldn't we know
accommodate,
that?
you know,
Shouldn't we know
both
that, though?
ways.
Because
So, in fact,
someone may not, someone else may own that second lot. He comes in 10 years from now and says, no, I bought the lot. That middle driveway is, I can do anything I want with it. I just get rid of it.
I guess he can't if they're granting an easement over it. He takes it subject.
Okay, are we granting an easement right now?
Yes, they're proposing a vehicular access easement and drainage easements over Lot 2.
That's
Right now,
just,
that's in, so if anybody buys that, there's an easement in there
well,
already. Okay.
but I guess that would be, I mean, is that a detail that we would want to make sure is happening
It is.
simultaneously with the filing of the subdivision plan?
Yes, that's on the subdivision plans. One of the, yes, that is notes.
At one point, I think years ago, there was actually 2 buildings on this site. There was a building to the north of the existing
There's a swimming pool on the north
motel.
side.
There was
Yeah.
another motel that was detached. And that could have been the reason why they had 2 accesses, you know, so one for one for the other. So
I guess the one question I have is whether there should be,
Yeah, I remember that.
should there be a condition of approval that that easement is to be
I'm good. as long as-
imposed
Yeah, I'm fine.
as part of the filing of the subdivision map so that we know it's done? Or is it enough if there's just a note on that plan? And in other words, they could go sell the lot, not have recorded the easement theoretically, and there could be an issue, it seems to me. If they haven't done that at the time they sell lot 2, then we're not going to get the easement, right?
Isn't the easement, I realize you're not looking at me, but isn't the easement,
Looking at Rich.
right?
Yes. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, generally, the recording of the approved subdivision map itself is only approved subject to the notes on the plan. So the recording of the easements, and I understand that's,
Right, I'm just saying from an enforceability standpoint, if an owner bought it and the easement hadn't been implemented, is it enforceable just based on the note on the plan if the owner says, I never knew about it, the purchase?
Yeah, I mean, probably, but there's enough potential for ambiguity that you want to have it documented so that, you know, they know who's paying for it,
Right.
who's maintaining it.
Right, so at what point in time in our process would you want to see that, I guess is the question.
Yeah, does it say an easement on there?
Probably
note one.
at or prior to recording of the subdivision map.
Okay, thank you. And I agree, I guess, with what Chris said, or do we know that town engineer is comfortable with the, you know, with what they're doing from a traffic circulation standpoint at this stage?
For the existing building or for the lot
Yeah,
2?
for both, I guess, yeah.
The 11 bullets that are in the subdivision notes are pretty clear, but it doesn't give an engineer's obligation.
Right, or Derek, I meant just in
Yeah.
terms of has he thoroughly reviewed all the traffic flow aspects and everything?
he did review the plans, he gave us his comments, but we are going to need to, unless the commission's interested in conditioning the approval, but I don't think that with the subdivision, that's generally done. So we are going to need to get written concurrence from the town engineer that the revised plan, we got the revised plans on Monday, so 2 days ago, you know, we have not received, you know, a document concurring that the revised plans meet their, satisfy their comments, and so I do have the opportunity to make sure that the access is okay.
So this is the old plan here? In the packet?
Correct, yes.
Because I can't see it, it's too small, but does this have any notes that there's a easement of this road?
Yes, right, yes, that,
It's on here somewhere?
it's on sheet number 1.
In the fine print.
Yeah, I know that, but
Said note 1, so it's on note 1, yeah.
Does DOT for the right-of-way permit have any say just for
yet.
the mere subdivision? How about at the stage where somebody's actually trying to build new buildings? They keep the curb
see it.
cuts as is? Are they allowed to do whatever they want to do?
They won't look at an encroachment permit until after the approval.
Right, and I guess if they maintain the curb cuts exactly as is, would they, then maybe they don't need an encroachment permit from
Correct.
DOT? Okay.
If they change it, and they may very well, and to your point, they may very well change that point of access based on the development plans, one way or another.
Right.
And so that would be when we would see how the site plans can operate, impact each other.
Okay, so it sounds like it would be a good idea for us to continue this, to have Derek review the revised plans that have been submitted, and I think also coming up with some type of potential condition that says prior to or simultaneous with the filing of the approved subdivision map, an easement shall be filed on the Weathersfield land records documenting the access right in favor of Lot 1. So that for next time, if we act on it next time.
Could I just for discussion purposes, rather than having a condition on the subdivision approval, I would prefer to have a note on the plan itself, so that we're not making a condition.
It's already, I mean, there is a note already, and I guess.
No, I
what
mean, a note in addition to says easement shall be filed not later than the same day, something like that.
Oh.
My understanding is that the commission is not, you cannot condition
Well, you
the
can't.
subdivision approval.
I think if all we're doing is conditioning it on what they've represented they will do for access purposes, I don't think that's the kind of condition that would be problematic. I think it's more conditioning it on some other agency's approval.
Yeah, or on some particular use or something that
Okay, okay,
is not within
okay.
the subdivision regulations.
Anybody else, while we're still here tonight on this, have any other questions?
Chris doesn't.
Chris?
I'm done, yeah.
Tom?
No, I was, just more, I guess more as a matter of curiosity, since this deals with subdivision, there's no wetlands on the site from the documentation that you've presented. But I was, in another document that was provided to us, the Federation Planning and Zoning Agency's quarterly newsletter that reported on a case involving, that involved a subdivision and the issue of the legal principle of improper segmentation. I was just wondering if, that since there's, I would think that the commonality between that case and this instant issue is the two parcels are still quite intimately involved, pursuant to the language of the court case. I would like to hear whether or not either our Chairman Hammer or any of our other commissioners have any thoughts as to that issue of improper segmentation as it might apply to any problems or issues that the applicant may encounter as they proceeds ahead with the subdivision and subsequent development therefrom. So does it, particularly, any of the land use attorneys on the commission that are in active practice might see any issues regarding the principle of improper segmentation with respect to this particular application.
I have a question. In what you're reading there, is there an example of what they mean by improper?
Summary, isn't it?
That was a situation where there was legislation designed to prevent a particular development, and the law was drafted in such a way that it referred to parcel size and, distance from a school and population of the town and the number of acres of wetlands. And the property owner basically divided their property so that it didn't satisfy the requirements in the statute anymore. So it wasn't traditional subdivision where you're taking one piece of land and breaking it into two. They're not trying to avoid any kind of regulation here. And it's not designed to circumvent our regulations or a statute. So I don't think anything is improper.
I appreciate that. I kind of had a similar presumption, but I thought I'd pose the issue or pose the question just as a potential guide for the applicant with regards to future developments under the subdivision, assuming it's consented to by the commission.
Tom? Anybody else have anything on this one? And
I just have one. So on the, for lot one, when it's divided, what's the total impervious coverage in square feet, not just percentage? What is it in totals in square feet? Because looking at it, I mean, I know I can't see the actual lot lines on satellite, but it doesn't look like, it looks like most of it would be either paved or
Do
building.
you have the first page, the cover sheet?
None of the revised plans, those were not distributed.
On the proposed Lot 1, the maximum pervious coverage requires 75% in this zone. Existing is 47.7% for the entire property. For Lot 1, it is, let me just look at this and make
That
sure.
was one of the comments I asked.
40
You add that. Okay, the actual, okay.
I'm sorry, 64.6%. And Lot 2, we just put a holder in there for 75. It doesn't really mean anything for that. But, so it's, for Lot 1, it's 64.6%, and it's required a maximum of 75%.
Okay.
And the same thing with
Waited once we did.
the building coverage. Building coverage required 50%. For Lot 1, it's 16.2.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question, maybe you, Rich, and or Joe can help me with this. So when you look at our plan of development, I mean, going back a number of years, and when we were thinking about the Celestine Highway and wanting to create, a city center, one of the issues that came up continually, and I think even in other parts of Celestine, is that there's a lot of small parcels. We allow the condition over the years where there's a lot of different owners, a lot of tiny parcels. So when we think about wanting to do something in the future, we're always constrained by the fact that, a lot of little parcels can't really do anything more than just deal with what we have at hand. When I look at this, it almost feels like we have a big parcel that could be, in the future, repurposed into, a better condition than maybe a motel in the back, if that's what a future developer wants. But if we allow it to be chopped up like this, we're creating almost a situation that we have on the Celestine. As a commission, given the fact that this meets all the zoning requirements, do we have any latitude to make this decision based on that factor? That we think that subdividing this is making a desirable larger parcel into maybe two undesirable smaller parcels for the future? Do we have any latitude as a commission?
No, if it meets the requirements of the subdivision regulations, you have virtually no discretion to say no.
Okay,
We can buy it.
yeah, well, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
Couldn't you propose that within the master plan of conservation and have a minimum acreage amount in a commercial district and a long-term planning session? But,
Yeah.
I mean, Bon Giovanni Group was historically changed the town of Newington, for example, where they migrated 2, 3, 4, 5 lots and put strip plazas up in the years past. But that was more of a supply and demand situation there. Right now, we have a subdivision, additional lot that will add value to the overall property when it's got with the proper use. So,
Right, if there's no more commentary, we're going to continue this matter to our November 18th meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
One more question, though, just before we go, and it's probably, we have time, so just to recap, I want to make sure I got it. I did notice when I was looking at the revised plans, all of the existing monuments and pins have been identified on the plans, and I could put this in a note or an email to you as well, but could you just indicate the pins or the monuments that will be set? Just that.
I have to apologize. I'm not getting what you're hearing.
Just on the revised plans, if you could indicate that the proposed monuments or pins will be set. I'll include that in my comments as well, but I noticed that on the existing, that you all of the existing pins or monuments were identified, but generally, we'd also like to see a note that says monuments or pins will be set, to be set.
Okay.
I will include a number of,
More work for us, so we don't mind that.
yeah.
And also, I'm noticing on the on the zoning table under parking data, shouldn't they do the calculation for the motel site on Lot 1, applying the formula based on rooms and employees so that we know what the parking requirement is?
Oh, to include the number that exists, yes. I will,
So it's employees and rooms and largest shift and conference area, those things, to give us a number of what's required.
understood, yes.
Okay.
One thing I'm just curious about, because with the hotel being an existing use on that other lot, if they're gonna have an easement and share potentially, the other lot is pretty big. Is there a situation where this a lot like effectively creates a hardship that for a future owner of that property, are they able to like claim a hardship for a variance if they aren't able to get enough parking on that lot because the hotel and they're supposed to share that parking lot or something along those lines?
I guess to let Rich join in here, but to me, that would be a self-created hardship by virtue of the fact that the prior owner decided to divide the lot with one being smaller.
Yeah.
His problem. And that's his problem.
But, you know, then I guess it comes down to how the zoning board of appeals acts, even if it is a self-created hardship. But
Put a used car lot in there.
Well, yeah, you go to get,
You can't.
no, you can get a variance and do that.
yeah. All right, so we'll see you back on November 18th.
Okay. Do you want me to leave this?
You can take that with you.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to bring, we can send new prints if, for the commission if you want, 11 by 17s for the revised plans for the next meeting.
We'll talk in between now and the next meeting, because there may be additional revisions, but just to make sure that I captured all the comments and the discussion. So I am going to request that Derek review the revised plans to confirm that they did address the prior comments that he had, and also ask him to do a second review of the access, the existing access, and then any impacts or elements to be aware of for future development that could impact the current hotel use, and just look at overall site plan access for both sites. We're going to consider a condition, if and when approved, that at the same time that the Mylars are recorded, that the easements also be recorded. I'm going to request that there be a parking table shown on the plan to show that the existing lot 1 can still accommodate the required parking based on the current operations. I'm also going to send it to the fire marshal just to make sure that for access for emergency services, they can get in there. And then the last, and I'm going to request that pins be set, or a note that they will be set. And then the last thought I had after we talked, and maybe the town engineer will get this, is that we do want to make sure that there's latitude or area for the easement, that easement someday may not be where it's shown on the map. So I want to make sure that the access easement is for the entire lots, so that they are not constrained by what's currently shown as the access if it needs to move in the future.
Okay.
Anything else?
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to cover that in the written easement document.
Okay.
And I guess typically, do we, as part of that, want the easement submitted for review by the town attorney prior to wrapping everything up, I think, to make sure that he deems the easement effectively does what it's supposed to?
We normally do, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we can talk about that later. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Need a motion to continue?
Sure.
I'll make the motion to continue this application till November 18th.
Second.
Second by Peter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Other business, do we have any? Dave?
No.
Okay, minutes of October 21, would someone like to make a motion?
Move we continue it to November 18th.
We did that already, right?
No, for the minutes.
Oh.
I mean, everything else is going to accomplish.
Okay,
I make a motion that we
to approve the minutes
approve the minutes.
of October 21st. Is there a
October
second?
21st.
I'll second it.
Joe, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, any opposed, any abstentions?
Saying I wasn't here.
Okay. public comments on general matters of planning and zoning. There are no members of the public present at our meeting here in Town Hall. Correspondence, there's the CFPZA quarterly newsletter in your packet, and then number 8, staff reports. Dave?
Just wanted to provide an update that there is a link on the agenda. It's also on the packet that's posted with the town clerk. The Plan of Conservation and Development, the minimal revisions that were discussed at our last meeting have been incorporated, and I am going to be sending an email to town council, I think the day after they are officially sworn in, because they'll all have email addresses and there'll be several new members. And I also left I'm going to draft a memo to go along with it for Fred to determine what amount of presentation they would like to have, if any, by myself and or someone from FHI. And I forget the date that we set. I think it was January 6th. We could keep that date for now.
What was the rule on that? It has to be
65 days from,
not less than?
not less than 65 days.
So if they don't get it until, when is their next
I
meeting?
think it's November 11th or November 12th is when everyone is,
Yeah, is that that's probably not a
it doesn't need to be a
full
meeting.
Okay.
It just needs to be, we could
Okay,
transmit it
we
over
can
email.
figure it out if we
Yes.
need to change it, okay.
And
therefore-
then the affordable housing plan is the same. I just need to make those revisions to incorporate the recommendations or the actions that we have completed. And I just want to draw your attention that both of those are available on the website and they're updated.
And that's the item where, prior to submitting it to the state as a report, you were going to do a little cover memo that explained certain items have already been accomplished.
Right, in the executive summary, somehow in the executive summary, I'm going to indicate, in the course of, the development of this plan, the town has already initiated and successfully adopted several of the recommendations. And then I'm going to update some of the areas in the plan, just, to indicate that those have already been done.
Sounds good.
And just to keep in mind, because we didn't really finish this, this does not, the affordable housing plan does not require a public hearing. The commission could adopt that at our next meeting if we wanted to, subject to incorporating those revisions. So,
Is it worth submitting it with the plan of C&D though, since I think one of the changes they made to the state law for affordable housing plans a couple years ago was that if you do it after a certain date, you can submit it with your plan of C&D at the same time. I don't know if that matters though, it's just.
I think we have the option going forward, unless they change it again, which there is a conversation about having the regional councils of governments be able to do the plans, that we can get on the same cycle as our plan of conservation development and include it as a chapter in the plan of conservation development. But I don't think our adoption is going to impact our ability not to do that in the future. It's just sort of a question. Do we want to wait and do? We could adopt the affordable housing plan at any time, or do we want to postpone it and do it at the same time as the plan of conservation development?
Is the affordable housing plan required every 5 years?
Currently, yes.
Because the plan of development is every 10, so it seems like we have to do it separately, don't we?
Well, the plan of conservation development is every 10, I believe, unless, or maybe unless the state plan of conservation and development is updated more frequently than that. I think there's language in there, but I could be confusing that with the Council of Governments plan.
I don't think we've ever done it in less, the statute, I thought, still says 10, Rich, does it?
Yeah, or 13 as the case
As
may
as it
have.
happened, November 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. Dave, any other?
I just wanted to announce that, I just wanted to recognize that Lynn Rowe is retiring. And, she probably doesn't want much fanfare about it, but she is retiring, so I just wanted to acknowledge, she's been incredibly helpful over the past couple of years. There've been a number of staff changes, and she has really, I know that she kind of came into at a time when there was not a lot of coordination and organization, and she really did a great job, from what I can tell, keeping everything moving between, planning and zoning, the design review committee, EDIC, tourism and culture. She really did do a lot, and so
When's your last date, Dave?
her last day is this Friday. I think she has a couple of grandchildren, a couple more grandchildren on the way, so she's looking forward to spending some more time
Good for her.
with them instead of us. So that's understandable. I just wanted to recognize her and thank her for her many years of service long before I was here.
As a commission, I think our consensus is thank you from all of us, Dave, to Lynn for all of her hard work and contributions to helping the commission run and handle all of its responsibilities.
I know when I've gone in person, she has a dynamic personality and a great sense of humor,
Exactly, yeah.
especially when things were in the gray zone for a while there. So, but congratulations, Lynn. Good for her.
The other items, Dave?
No.
There's one thing I know you've brought up in the past, I guess, when we're all here, your thought about, do we have someone else designated in addition to Charles? Is that?
Oh, yes, this, we do have time tonight. So I just, Cassandra, we're fortunate to have Cassandra, the municipality has a new enforcement tool called See-Click Fix. Hopefully you've heard of it. Probably have. Our notices, our requests for violations have gone, very high, and if you haven't seen it, you should. It's a very easy way to capture anything that you see that any code enforcement, any physical services, Department of Public Works, and so we are, which we should. We have a lot of additional work to do in terms of enforcement, and so one of the things in some of the municipalities I've worked for, particularly the smaller ones, where sometimes you might have a part-time zoning official or wetlands official. They have, because the agent, so in the statutes, the commission has an agent who has certain authorities, including enforcement of the regulations. Some commissions have a practice of appointing that person. Sometimes they do it at their organizational meeting in the beginning of the year. Some towns never do it, and that is just their agent based on their title and their employment status with the municipality. So I've seen it work many different ways. As long as it works, it's fine. My only thought, and I brought this up, is that now we have and Cassandra is working towards her Casio certificate, so she will not be able to sign orders until that's completed. I have I'm a recognized zoning official as well, and so there are a couple of outstanding issues that I would like to be able to help Charles with, and actually, if Charles, who's our zoning official, is out, just being able to sign permits. And so I was going to ask if perhaps we should make a motion to recognize myself and or Cassandra at the appropriate time to be deputy, officials in some capacity. And I did look, because I am in the organizational minutes, I am the duly authorized agent, but it is limited to signing
Notices? And was Charles referenced?
Charles is not referenced at all.
Rich, just a clarification, I guess. When zoning official, I guess I'm thinking zoning enforcement officer.
Yeah.
The statutory authority, person authorized to issue cease and desists and all that stuff. So does that appointment typically come from this commission or from the town council, or is it just the hired employee? How does that work?
I would bet that under the regulations, it says that we appoint them, but we never have.
Okay.
We're told, here's your zoning enforcement officer.
Okay. And
But if we want to, have a deputy or something like that, I don't see why we can't do it.
so it seems like, would the right way to do it procedurally be to put an agenda item on for a meeting so that it's scheduled on the agenda for consideration and possible action? It wasn't on our agenda for this evening, but if we're inclined to do it, maybe we could do it next time.
Yeah, or if tonight's a regular meeting, we can do it.
Could add it?
We could
Okay.
add it to the agenda.
So the thought was, if Charles has the title of zoning enforcement officer, call you deputy, does that work?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
And just because we are here just talking about it, Cassandra is doing, I don't know if she can sign anything as the deputy. I guess she can't until she's certified, because now there's state law. So it would just be me.
If everybody's, in agreement with that, then I guess we can, I can't remember what do you need to
We need a
add it
motion,
to the agenda? It's got to be, what,
Two-thirds vote to
two-thirds
add it
vote?
to the agenda.
need a motion, right?
I would recommend that in anticipation of this, that our town planner draft a motion to the effect of, executing our discussion present as an agenda item for the commission to vote upon and thereby adopt it.
We can certainly do that, or, as Rich pointed out, we have we could add it as an agenda item through a 2/3 vote and proceed to do it tonight. Either way, I think works procedurally, right? So, whatever the
I think it
consensus
makes
is.
more sense to have it in writing to present to us so that we all know what we're voting for in a more precise way.
And as long as the print is bigger than on the subdivision maps.
You just do a
But Rich is hitting home runs.
one or two sentence thing, and you can just list it on the agenda. We'll move that to November 18th. How's that?
All right.
I will say, just in case, it does appear from the record that the prior town planner for many years was acting in that same capacity. And, it's never an issue unless someone challenges it. I've been part of many enforcement actions that have become not enforceable because of an error in that kind of, just a simple procedural error where the person initiating the action wasn't a designated agent, and I don't want that to be the case.
And so that I understand, part of your specific concern right now is that we're seeing an increase in reporting of potential violations, and having that extra backup and like definite authority is really valuable with the increase in like the see-click fix kind of.
Yeah, it's also the volume too. So, I always, being the zoning and the wetlands official is a difficult job alone, but the zoning official in Weathersfield also signs off on every single building permit. And sometimes, there was a day, I know Cassandra's been trying to help, there's 64 in 1 month. So in addition to signing off on every building permit, one person is trying to capture and record every potential municipal code or zoning violation, documenting it, and there are, just like everyone's work, that you have to handle what comes in. But there are some outstanding, I will say, site plan matters that I would like to address, and it seems like in the past that has been done by the town planner. And interestingly, I think the history that I can see is there has been this, there's an expectation that because the zoning official does report to the town planner, that the town planner had all of the authorities vested in the zoning official, which I don't think is the case. So if that has been a pattern of practice, I'm happy to continue it, but I would just like it to be clearly established, that the town planner or whoever the enforcement agent is, quite frankly, has those powers. It's a small detail. It's just those are kind of things that for me, they're important if we're going to be successful.
And part of it is also if Charles doesn't happen to be here on a particular day, or he's on vacation or whatever, there's nobody.
Right, which I'm learning that's what has happened in the past, is that if the zoning official, even prior to Justin, if the zoning official wasn't there, then they would be sent to the town planner, and the town planner would sign things such as sign permits, including, liquor license approvals, which is not, which is fine if it works and it doesn't get challenged, but I would prefer that it be documented.
Okay, so let's.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, I had a developer call me. Remember, I had to call you because he was 3-4 weeks waiting for someone to sign his building plan.
Right.
I mean, we can't do that.
No, and I will just say, it's not, Charles does a lot of work, and I know people say, oh, he has a great mentality, and, if and when he retires, he's going to be sorely missed because he is able to maintain sort of calm composure despite having a mountain of work behind him. So I feel for him. He does a really good job. But yeah, it's just sometimes it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, help would be good. No question.
All right, so we'll get that next time. Anything else, Dave, or is that it?
That's it.
No, I think just to follow up on your point about how things got the way they were, in the past, there had also been a reluctance by the planner to be an enforcement person because they were also the economic and community development director, and they saw that as kind of a conflicting role to be both the good cop and the bad cop at the same time.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can understand that.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion.
Paul, second by
Second.
Chris. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? All right, thank you.
Dave, I have a quick question.